Welcome to Sahaba Role Models, where we bring the legendary stories of the Sahaba into today's world. Our goal is to uncover the courage, wisdom, and faith of these incredible role models and show how their lives can guide us today. In this episode, we dive into the inspiring story of Abu Ubaydah Ibn Al-Jarrah, one of the most revered generals in Islamic history and a symbol of humility, leadership, and unwavering faith. Abu Ubaidah's role in the conquest of Syria, particularly his leadership during the Battle of Yarmouk, demonstrated his strategic brilliance and deep commitment to justice and unity. His qualities of courage, selflessness, and dedication to the welfare of others can resonate with the challenges faced by modern-day leaders and citizens of Syria. In a time of conflict and adversity, the leadership and spirit of Abu Ubaidah serve as a powerful reminder that with faith, wisdom, and perseverance, we can overcome even the greatest challenges. His story teaches us that true leadership is not about power, but about serving others and standing for justice, even in the most difficult circumstances.
Welcome to a deep dive into the life of Abu Ubaydah Ibn Al-Jarrah.
A truly remarkable figure.
From early Islamic history.
Yeah.
We've got some fascinating excerpts from a text about him.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to unpack what made this guy so special.
Definitely, his story is a testament to strength, humility, and unwavering faith.
It really is.
He navigated incredibly challenging situations with remarkable grace.
So true.
And his legacy is one of deep respect and admiration.
Okay, so the source describes him as this striking figure, both in appearance and deep personality. Yeah. Tall, slim, bright face,
right,
but also incredibly courteous and humble, almost shy. But then in tough situations, serious and alert, like a flashing blade. Do you think this apparent duality was a deliberate strategy or just part of his personality?
Well, what's fascinating here is that it might be a bit of both.
Okay.
His inherent nature seems to have been one of composure and respect, but he understood the gravity of certain situations, requiring a shift in demeanor.
I see.
This adaptability is likely what made him so effective.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, we learn Abu Ubaidah was one of the very first to embrace Islam.
Indeed.
Talk about being an early adopter.
He was right there at the beginning.
What kind of impact do you think that had on the development of the Muslim community?
Well, his early conversion, alongside figures like Abu Bakr, provided a bedrock of support for the Prophet Muhammad. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Okay. During those crucial early years in Mecca, imagine the courage it took to stand by those beliefs.
I know.
Amidst hostility and persecution.
It's incredible.
His steadfastness in the face of such adversity speaks volumes about his character.
Yeah, and the text really emphasizes how he never wavered, even when things got incredibly intense in Mecca. He endured insults, violence, and pain.
He did.
What do you think kept him going through such trials?
You know, his story is a powerful reminder that faith can be an incredible source of strength and resilience.
I can see that.
For Abu Ubaidah, his belief seems to have been the driving force that allowed him to persevere.
Yeah.
Even when things were incredibly difficult.
Okay, now let's dive into the Battle of Badr.
Okay.
The first major conflict between the early Muslims and the Quraysh.
Right.
The source describes Abu Ubaidah in the thick of it, fighting bravely. But then we have this incredibly poignant moment. He's forced to confront his own father on the battlefield.
It's one of those moments that really captures the complexities of those early days.
It does.
This moment really highlights the profound sacrifices demanded by faith.
Yeah.
And the complexities of navigating personal ties when they intersect with deeply held beliefs.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the emotional turmoil of that experience.
It's hard to fathom.
The source doesn't shy away from the weight of it, calling it one of the most harrowing moments of his life.
It's almost unimaginable.
It really is.
It's interesting how the Quranic verse revealed after the battle addresses this very conflict.
Oh, yeah.
Choosing faith over familial ties when they oppose God.
Really?
It speaks to the universality of these struggles and the difficult choices we sometimes face when our principles are put to the test.
That's true. Throughout the text, Abu Ubaidah's trustworthiness and strength are constantly emphasized.
They are.
He's even called the Amin, the custodian of the Prophet Muhammad. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him's community. What does that title tell us about his role?
It highlights the immense trust and respect he garnered.
Okay.
And suggests that people saw him as a guardian.
Interesting.
A protector of the community's well-being and its values.
There are all these incredible anecdotes about how deeply people trusted him.
There are.
For example, there's this story where Christian delegations specifically requested someone from the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, to settle a property dispute.
Really?
And guess who he chose?
I can't wait to hear this.
Abu Ubaydah.
Ors.
This choice emphasizes his reputation as an impartial and just individual.
Yes.
Capable of handling delicate matters with fairness and wisdom. He was the go-to person for resolving conflict.
That's amazing.
And then there's this story about the expedition where Abu Ubaydah is leading a group of companions.
Okay.
And they only have a single bag of dates for provisions.
Oh.
Can you imagine trying to lead a group under those conditions?
It's hard to fathom.
What does this tell us about his leadership style?
It's remarkable. They each get 1 date a day.
Wow.
And the source even mentions that Abu Ubaydah eats his slowly, like a baby nursing, to make it last.
Really?
He's sharing in their struggle, enduring the same hardship.
He's leading by example.
This approach exemplifies his humility.
I see that.
And concern for his companions' well-being.
Right.
It's a powerful display of leadership in action.
This really showcases his incredible ability to endure hardship.
He did.
But even more importantly, to inspire others to do the same through his actions.
Exactly. His selflessness and his focus on collective well-being make this story so powerful.
And speaking of putting others before himself,
yes,
there's the account of the Battle of Uhud,
right,
where the Muslims were facing defeat. Abu Ubaydah was one of 10 companions who formed a protective circle around the Prophet Muhammad.
Wow.
May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him amidst the chaos.
Incredible.
The source says 2 discs from the Prophet's shield were lodged in his cheek.
Oh my goodness.
And Abu Ubaydah carefully extracted them, even losing 2 of his own teeth in the process.
It's a truly selfless act of devotion.
It really is.
Putting the Prophet's safety above his own pain.
He was willing to endure any hardship to protect his leader and his faith.
That's powerful.
It makes you wonder if his quiet demeanor masked an inner well of courage and strength that only emerged in these critical moments.
It's a fascinating contrast, right? This quiet, humble figure transforming into a pillar of strength when needed.
And then we have this pivotal moment after the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, passed away.
Okay.
Umar ibn al-Khattab, recognizing Abu Ubaydah's qualities,
right,
actually wanted him to be the caliph.
He did.
Umar, known for his own strong leadership, saw in Abu Ubaydah the ideal leader for the Muslim community.
Yeah.
Someone capable of guiding them through a time of transition.
Makes sense.
He thought Abu Ubaydah was the perfect fit,
But
incredibly he refused, saying that Abu Bakr was the more rightful successor.
He did.
Based on the Prophet's prior instructions.
Right.
Was this truly humility, or could there have been other factors at play?
That's a great question. While it certainly demonstrates his humility and lack of desire for power,
right,
it also shows his deep commitment to following the Prophet Muhammad. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, guidance.
That makes sense.
Even in matters of leadership. He prioritized unity and continuity for the community above personal ambition.
So he's a shining example of early Islamic leadership.
It really is.
But we also see this incredible humility and commitment to something greater than himself.
Exactly. His actions consistently reflect a deep sense of duty and service to the community and to his faith.
And later, during a plague in Syria,
oh, wow,
Umar desperately wanted him to come back to Medina for his own safety. But Abu Ubaydah refused to leave his troops.
He wouldn't abandon the people under his care.
He wouldn't.
Even in the face of a deadly plague. It's a profound statement of loyalty and shared responsibility, embodying his selflessness.
Absolutely.
He chose to face the same risk as those he led.
It epitomizes his leadership philosophy.
It really does.
Even when facing death, he thought of his men.
Absolutely.
And that kind of leadership echoes through history. What's striking about Abu Ubaydah's enduring impact is
that he wasn't this larger-than-life domineering figure.
Right.
He led with quiet strength, integrity, and unwavering faith.
Yeah.
Those qualities resonate just as strongly today as they did centuries ago.
You know, it's so easy to get caught up in the dramatic battles and epic stories. But what truly stands out to me is the consistency of Abu Ubaydah's character.
Right.
Whether he was facing down enemies on the battlefield
yeah,
or resolving disputes within the community,
yeah,
His actions always seem to stem from this deep well of faith and genuine care for others.
He wasn't driven by a thirst for power or recognition.
Yeah.
His life was a testament to service,
Yeah.
both to his community and to a higher purpose. And that, I think, is what makes him such a compelling figure.
Speaking of service,
Yeah.
we've talked about his humility in declining the caliphate.
Right.
But his loyalty during that plague in Syria is equally striking.
It
To
is.
stay with his troops, knowing the risk.
Yeah.
That level of commitment is truly inspiring.
It's almost like he embodied the idea of servant leadership. He was willing to share the burdens of his people,
Yeah.
even when it meant putting his own safety at risk.
And even in his final moments, as he lay dying,
Yeah.
he was still thinking about his troops.
It's amazing.
The source mentions how he gave them this incredibly moving final speech,
Right.
full of advice and encouragement.
He did.
It's almost like he distilled the essence of his life's wisdom into those parting words.
He urged them to pray, fast, give charity, stay united, and be sincere to their commanders.
Wow.
It's timeless wisdom, emphasizing the importance of faith, community, and integrity.
What I find really fascinating is how the source contrasts his humility and quiet demeanor
Right.
with this inner strength that seemed to emerge in times of need.
Right. It's almost like a flashing blade, as the source puts it. He
Which-
wasn't someone who sought attention or boasted about his accomplishments.
Right.
He led by example, with quiet determination and unwavering faith. But when the situation demanded it, he could rise to the occasion with incredible courage and resolve.
That duality makes him such a complex and intriguing figure.
It really does.
We see this reflected in his actions at the Battle of Uhud, forming that protective circle around the Prophet Muhammad. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him.
Yeah, even in the face of imminent defeat.
Right.
He didn't hesitate to put himself in harm's way to protect his leader.
Of course.
And let's not forget those shield discs embedded in his cheek.
Oh, gosh.
It's a testament to his unwavering commitment to the Prophet Muhammad. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him and the cause they were fighting for.
I think it's important to highlight that he wasn't just a brave warrior.
He wasn't.
He was also known for his fairness, wisdom, and deep concern for the well-being of others.
Absolutely.
He embodied the essence of the title Amin,
Right.
the custodian or trustee of the community. What lessons can we, as modern listeners, draw from his approach to leadership?
I think there's a lot we can learn from Abu Ubaida's example, even in today's world.
Okay.
He reminds us that true leadership isn't about titles or positions or outward displays of power.
Right.
It's about character, integrity, and a genuine desire to serve others.
His story really challenges our modern-day conceptions of what it means to be a leader.
Yeah.
He wasn't charismatic or loud, but he commanded respect through his actions, his humility, and his unwavering commitment to his principles.
And that's a powerful message for us all, regardless of our background or beliefs.
Yeah.
Abu Ubaidah shows us that quiet strength, compassion, and a commitment to a higher purpose can be just as effective, if not more so, than aggression and dominance.
He wasn't afraid to make tough decisions,
He wasn't.
like in the Battle of Badr, where he had to fight against his own father.
Right.
It speaks to the challenges of reconciling personal ties with your beliefs
Betas.
and having the courage to stand up for what you believe in, even when it's incredibly difficult.
Imagine being in that position.
I know.
It's such a stark reminder that sometimes following your conscience means making incredibly difficult choices.
It does.
And it takes immense strength to stay true to your convictions when faced with such challenges.
His story also sheds light on the transformative power of faith.
It does.
Think about those early days in Mecca, when the Muslim community was facing such intense persecution.
Yeah.
It was people like Abu Ubaidah, with their unwavering faith and commitment,
Absolutely.
who helped lay the foundation for a community that would go on to have such a profound impact on history.
Absolutely. His story shows how faith can be a source of strength, enabling people to endure hardship and emerge from challenges even stronger.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope and resilience can be found in our beliefs and the communities we build around them.
And that resilience is evident in so many aspects of his life.
It is.
From enduring the hardship of that date expedition
Yeah.
to facing down a deadly plague without abandoning his troops.
It's incredible.
What stands out to you as his most defining quality?
It's difficult to choose just one.
I bet.
But if I had to, I'd say his unwavering commitment to serving others,
Okay.
whether it was his family, his community, or his faith.
Right.
Abu Ubaidah dedicated his life to something greater than himself. And that, I think, is the most enduring legacy he left behind.
His life was a testament to the power of putting others before yourself.
It was.
And this selfless devotion seems to have permeated every aspect of his life.
It did.
From his military leadership to his role as trusted advisor and mediator.
He was the kind of person people naturally turned to for guidance and support.
Yeah.
Knowing that he would always act with fairness and integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And those qualities are just as valuable today as they were centuries ago.
We live in a world that often celebrates individualism and self-promotion.
Right.
But Abu Ubaidah's story reminds us that true strength can be found in humility, compassion, and a willingness to put the needs of others before our own.
It's a powerful counter-narrative to the prevailing cultural messages we often encounter.
I agree.
It encourages us to ask ourselves, how can we embody these qualities in our own lives?
Right.
How can we, like Abu Ubaidah, make a positive impact on the world through acts of service and selflessness?
It's a profound question, and one that each of us must answer for ourselves.
Right.
But Abu Ubaidah's life provides a roadmap, showing us that true fulfillment comes not from seeking power or recognition, but from dedicating ourselves to something larger than ourselves.
And that legacy of service, combined with his strength, humility, and unwavering faith,
Right.
makes Abu Ubaydah Ibn Al-Jarrah's story one that continues to inspire and resonate with people across cultures and generations.
His life was a tapestry woven from threads of courage, compassion, and unwavering commitment to his faith and his community.
It was.
And it's a tapestry that continues to captivate and inspire us centuries later. It's incredible how Abu Ubaidah's story highlights those timeless principles of leadership.
It really does.
It's not about commanding a room or having the loudest voice,
No.
but leading with quiet strength, empathy, and a genuine willingness to serve others.
Absolutely. It challenges our preconceived notions of what leadership should look like in today's world.
Yeah.
We often associate leadership with charisma, assertiveness,
Sin, sometimes even aggression. But Abu Ubaidah demonstrates that true leadership can also be found in humility, compassion, and a deep commitment to the well-being of others.
He wasn't afraid to make tough calls.
Right.
Like when he chose faith over family ties during the Battle of Badr.
That's right.
But even in those difficult moments, he acted with grace and integrity, ultimately prioritizing what he believed was best for the greater good.
He did.
How can we, as modern listeners,
Right.
apply this idea of principled decision-making to our own lives?
Well, it's about identifying our core values
Okay.
and having the courage to stand by them, even when it's difficult.
I see.
Abu Ubaidah's story encourages us to reflect on our own principles
Yeah.
and consider how we can navigate challenging situations with integrity
Right.
and a commitment to what we believe is right, even if it means making personal sacrifices.
His story is a powerful reminder that true strength isn't always about outward displays of power or dominance. No.
It can also come from within, from a strong sense of purpose, unwavering faith,
Right.
and a commitment to something bigger than yourself.
It's about leading by example.
Yeah.
Inspiring others through your actions rather than your words. Think about the date expedition.
Okay.
He didn't demand that his companions ration their food.
He didn't.
He shared in their hardship,
Yeah.
enduring the same hunger,
Right.
and demonstrating through his actions the resilience and selflessness he expected from them.
And that selflessness permeated every aspect of his life.
Absolutely.
Remember, he was offered the caliphate,
Right.
the highest position of leadership in the Muslim community,
Yeah.
and he declined it.
He did.
Not out of weakness, but out of a deep sense of humility
Right.
and a desire to serve the community in the way he believed was best.
He understood that true leadership is about service, not about power or personal gain.
I see that.
And that's a lesson that resonates across cultures and time periods. It challenges us to think about our own motivations.
Yeah.
Are we seeking to lead for the benefit of others?
Right.
Or are we driven by self-interest?
It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of personal success
Right.
and recognition.
Yeah.
But Abu Ubaidah's story reminds us that true fulfillment comes from aligning our actions with our values and dedicating ourselves to a purpose that transcends our individual ambitions.
It's about contributing to something bigger than ourselves,
Right.
whether that's our family, our community, or a cause we believe in. Abu Ubaidah found his purpose in serving his faith and his community.
Yeah.
And in doing so, he left behind a legacy that continues to inspire people centuries later.
It's an incredible legacy.
It really is.
What resonates most with you about his life?
It's tough.
I know.
But for me, it's his unwavering faith and how it guided him through every challenge.
Yeah.
He faced persecution, loss, hardship, and even death, but his faith never wavered.
Right.
It was his anchor, his source of strength.
And that's something I find incredibly inspiring, especially in today's world where it can be easy to feel lost and uncertain.
I understand that.
It's a reminder that faith can be a powerful source of resilience, hope, and purpose.
Right.
It can provide a framework for navigating life's complexities and finding meaning, even in the face of adversity.
So what does this all mean for us?
Right.
What can we take away from this deep dive into the life of Abu Ubaydah Ibn Al-Jarrah?
Well, I think it's a call to action. A call to examine our own lives,
right,
to identify our core values, and to find ways to live with greater purpose and integrity.
It is.
It's about embracing humility, serving others, and finding strength in our convictions.
It's a reminder that true leadership is not about titles or positions,
right,
but about how we treat one another, and how we use our talents and resources to make a positive impact on the world around us.
And if you're looking for more inspiring stories about the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him.
Be sure to check out the amazing YouTube channel, Sahaba Role Models.
It's a great channel.
It's a fantastic resource for learning more about the early days of Islam and the lives of these extraordinary individuals.
Well, that's it for our deep dive into the life of Abu Ubaydah Ibn Al-Jarrah.
It was a good one.
We hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep striving to be the best versions of yourselves.
طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله داع أيها المبعوث فينا جئت بالأمر المطاع جئت شرفت المدينة مرحبا يا خير داع ما شاء الله we did it الحمد لله ما شاء بارك الله فيكم